Dear listeners, welcome to Family Jewels, the podcast where we grill people about their families. My name is Olga Koch.
And I am Charlie Dinkin.
We are delighted to welcome into the studio a friend of the pod.
Yeah. That's what we're saying about you?
Yeah, that works for me. I guess I am a friend of the pod.
He's also my boyfriend.
Olga's boyfriend.
But avid listener, not for any boyfriend-related reasons.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
Listening for me. Olga's there too. I understand.
I need to say that Family Jewels recently got me through a 7-hour layover in Guangzhou Airport.
Okay.
Was it the only thing I had downloaded on my phone? Yes, it was.
One episode over and over again?
Yeah, no. I think I had 4. Shout out to Sunil Patel.
Okay.
All right.
That was a good episode.
Good episode.
What we're saying is if you listen to Family Jewels, we might not only have you on as a fan, we might have sex with you.
Oh, no, don't
No?
say that.
Is that not what we're saying? Okay.
That's such a big statement to make.
It's like that 30 Rock episode when someone owns Jenna because they got enough like surge points to own her. Do you remember?
Yes.
What kind of product are you having to buy a lot of to get onto Family Jewels?
Tickets to my tour.
Anyway, do you want to say who it actually is?
We just said that it was Ewan McAdam.
You know you didn't.
I didn't. Oh my god. Friend of the pod, my boyfriend.
You just bragged about having a boyfriend.
Yeah, I have a boyfriend and you don't. And you
Nameless, anonymous. Hello, Ewan. Welcome to our podcast.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having me. To tell you all about my terrible family.
Okay,
Terrible.
so for those listening and not watching, can you just confirm that you're not at gunpoint?
No, not at gunpoint. Very much here of my own volition, and thrilled.
Imagine if we
dig up
only
some
had
dirt.
you on and nothing is actually on, and I'm like, so do you have a history of heart disease?
Someone's done a podcast to catfish a boyfriend. That's got to have happened.
So the sperm count historically.
Low. Yeah, if there's one thing that you're going to find out about my family over the course of the next 45 minutes is that we're all genetically terrible. That you're getting into a really terrible lineage.
Right, Ewan, where are you from?
So I am from Scotland, as this accent suggests. I grew up in Glasgow, and my family, on both sides pretty much, have not left the 100-mile radius of Glasgow for, and this is on both sides, and fully family history check, for the last 300 years.
Wow!
Yeah. It's, the thing is, Scots have such a good history of immigration and like exploring the world. I mean, and then like not in like a scary colonizing way. They just love to go around. They love to settle down. If an area,
It's not like they haven't tried colonizing.
Oh no, they definitely have. We've had some bad attempts, failed attempts at colonization. But
Have you heard about the
Exploring?
Darien scheme?
No, maybe
Oh
I
my
have, but
god,
maybe
no, you have to tell her about the Darien scheme.
Okay.
The biggest gift you can give any Scottish person is give them the opportunity to tell you about the Darien scheme.
Oh, please tell me.
now the
about it.
Darien scheme is something that I've probably bored Olga with a million times.
But now bore me.
Bore me.
So basically, the Scotland was not part of the Union in the late 1600s. So we saw England really thriving financially off the back of the East India Trading Company, and we were like, "Hey, we like to travel. We like to make money.
Yeah.
Why don't we have a colony where we can exploit the local resources?"
Yeah.
So we looked at the map and realized a lot of places have been colonized already. So we took the one place that was easily accessible and not colonized, the Darien Peninsula of Panama.
A classic. An absolute classic.
We round up all the nation's money,
Yep.
several investors, the crown, various things. We literally get a treasure box, like a chest, and we fill it with riches, and we put it on a boat. We then make the sailing over to Panama, where we lose the treasure chest. The soil is not fertile. There's no natural resources. Everything goes bust. Everything goes broke. The colony completely fails. Scotland goes so broke that we actually have to sign the Act of Union and become part of the United Kingdom.
Wow!
They joined the UK because they failed at making a colony.
2 questions. Where did the treasure go? How many people went?
I'm not sure how many people. Maybe I think it was in the hundreds.
Oh my god, imagine just going hard
the money-
Lord of the Flies straight away.
money's lost, but there's like a National Treasure movie that could be written about where that money
course.
is.
You know what I mean?
Where's the
Yeah,
Darien
yeah.
scheme money?
All I'm saying is that my ancestors had no interest in finding the money
They're like, "We're staying
and
here.
finding new fertile
It's good
soil.
here."
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was good, but
Yeah.
they certainly,
It is here.
yeah, they certainly
We are
felt at
where we
home.
are.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
is all you can say about us.
You know what this story just made me realize? That we have this like imagery of a chest of treasure, right?
Yes.
Then that same imagery becomes a suitcase or a briefcase full of cash.
Yes.
What's today's imagery for that?
Just a crypto wallet. Isn't it literally losing the code on the crypto wallet? You
Well,
know
yeah,
what I
'cause
mean?
there's
that
that-
is the treasure hunt. You've lost the code. It's the little
Yeah.
piece of paper that like the letters are faded.
There's that guy in Wales who like threw away a hard drive, and he was like an early adopter of Bitcoin, and there's like, I think at the time of like, the peak of it, there was like
Yeah.
£9 million worth of crypto just somewhere. So he like every day goes to the dump in Wales where he knows that it
No.
is, and he just searches.
Dump Man? Are we pitching that film too? It's like a parallel film. Like, you know how sometimes in like a National Treasure, some of it's happening in the past and some is in the future?
Yeah.
But it's like the past is someone's like looking for the treasure in the Panama Canal, and the present is someone's looking through the dump, and then somehow they're related.
Do I get it? No. Do I love it? Absolutely. So I feel like, the Darien scheme sort of gave us some texture to understanding the Scottish mentality.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So despite all of the history of immigration, despite like the Scots having really set up shop in Canada, in New Zealand, all
Yeah.
over the world, we've resolutely stuck to the small towns that we were from. So both my dad's side and my mum's side have a history of being on the Scottish Islands, which is gorgeous, but does mean the gene pool is exceptionally small.
Keep it local.
You gotta Google
Yeah,
cousins.
exactly. I mean, if Iceland has a problem with the Cousins app,
Yeah.
the Isles of
For you, it's just not a
Skye,
problem.
and
It's only a problem if you think of it as a problem.
So your dad is on Mull.
yes, my dad grew up in the Isle of Mull, and my mum actually grew up in Glasgow, but her dad is from. So my grandpa on my mum's side is from the Isle of Uist, but he moved after his childhood because I think both his parents died quite early.
Yeah.
So
He was like, I gotta get off this island. I
Yes.
can't be a child fending for myself on an island.
exactly. So he moved in with his aunt, who was a school teacher, in a much bigger town called Portree on the Isle of Skye. So I mean, small
Yes.
upgrade,
Okay.
but the bigger island, I guess.
Yeah.
And I think he had like an insane time because as a young boy, he developed this like mad fear of water. That like
What?
Yeah. So he like lived on an
This is
island,
like a
but
fairy tale.
had an insane fear of water.
Living
because-
on an island afraid of water.
yeah, I don't know how he managed to survive. Never learned to swim, and one day I think he was like on the pier playing with his friends, and I think he
Sounds
was
like a fable.
And he was quite a chunky wee boy, and he like fell in to the harbour, but like I think he got like wedged in between like the boat, like a boat that was docked,
No.
and the harbour, and then like slowly.
How
kind of, like-
humiliating. Drown instead.
yeah, exactly. But he like ricochets down slowly, and then just like.
I think that's a Looney Tune you saw.
Yeah, I know, but no. This is someone who imparted important life advice to me. I was raised by fucking Wile E. Coyote. So yeah, he
went down.
He's just like he then was stuck in this like small crevice between the side of the harbour and the boat for like hours. I think just like
Oh my
Wait, no one came to
shredding
get
water.
him?
I don't think they knew he was in there, and he's like terrified of water. I mean, R.I.P. He is dead now, but
But then he could swim. He didn't die then.
Oh no, he didn't die then. But like, yeah, I think at that point he was like, I don't think I can stay on this island anymore.
I must be on.
I must move to Glasgow.
I must be landlocked.
I cannot see water. That's a wild childhood.
Yeah, I mean,
I know that this is happening in Scotland, but whenever someone says like little boy on an island, in my head, the setting is Mamma Mia. The setting is Greek island running around.
No little boys in Mamma Mia though, but in your mind, a little boy.
Yeah, Costas. He had too much spinacopita. I don't know.
I mean, it's the same in that I think pretty much every Scottish island is littered with unwanted pregnancies with no
There you
no
go.
real knowledge of who
Mamma
the
Mia.
father is.
Scotland wants a little bit of it. They're losing the treasure, but
Exactly.
they're doing their best.
Except given Scottish music, it's a little more depressing than that.
Did you have any childhood do you have any like childhood like things like that happened to you that were like I was going to be like disasters, but it wasn't a disaster for him. He was fine.
Yeah, I guess he was fine. I think I was quite lucky. If anything, I was just like a little hungry boy. My entire childhood was like in pursuit of food.
Yeah, good.
Like,
and your adulthood.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I don't know what's changed.
I remember, I think like, and this is going to really paint a picture of how terrible the life I've lived is, but I remember that same grandpa, when I was like 2 years old, came over to the flat that I lived in with my parents at the time, and had brought over like my favourite baby food. Then it's like little jars of like, I think like stewed peaches or something like that. And I got so excited that I started like dancing around and like banging the jars together, and then the jars exploded.
What? That is a disaster.
Yeah, and that was like, I obviously started crying, but then
oh my God, you love
but
the
then also
peaches
just
so
trying to eat the peaches. I wanted into those jars. Yeah, so I think that if that's the worst thing that could ever possibly happen,
that's
to me,
your origin baby disaster.
Exactly.
Did you ever have one? Did you ever get?
Oh, I almost got sunk in a bog.
What?
I didn't know right.
Sunk in a bog.
I'm sorry, what?
You never heard
This is about like Russian folklore.
yeah. I was like up to here as a little baby, and I had to get pulled out by someone's grandpa.
Because you just waddled into the.
Yeah, and I kept sinking, and I couldn't get out because it's really scary.
How has this emotionally affected you?
Oh my God.
I don't know. I'm not like a fan of bogs.
Yeah. I've never seen you as an adult in a bog. Once.
She has been staying away from bogs.
I will say, every time one of those stories comes out where it's like, I don't know, body perfectly preserved in peat bog, I do have a little bit of like a "that's so Raven" moment. Could have been me.
Perfect body preserved in bog. Did someone call? Waiting till I'm at my absolute peak fitness to go and sink myself.
It's
into
perfectly
the dust.
preserved.
In my family, the two were once in Florida when my brother was really little. So I guess my brother was like 6, maybe, and I was 8. We were riding bikes, and then he just like straight up cycled into a body of water that there were alligators in, and he just went straight off the edge into it.
That's horrifying.
And then he sort of like, I think he managed to kind of like step on the bike and like scrabble himself out. And then a man had to come with a hammer on a rope and like throw it in and hoik the bike out.
Hammer on a rope.
Yeah.
Is that like a Florida special tool?
No, but it doesn't. If you think about it, it's perfect for catching a thing. You like throw it in, and then it like
It's heavy and it's a hook. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was Joe's one, and I was like, that was pretty cool actually that he like survived the alligator attack. But my only one was that my dad once when I was like 2, was throwing me up and down on a sofa and then dropped me and I hit my face on a radiator.
Oh!
That was a scar. But honestly, I think it's why my dad has been so nice to me my whole life. I really, really felt bad about it forever.
You saying that has reminded me of playing football in the back garden of my family's house with my uncle, and it like went over the fence into the next neighbour's garden, and he was like, "Oh, okay, you're tiny. We're gonna pop you over there." So he gives me a boosty over the hedge.
Yeah.
I land head first on the patio next door.
No.
Head splits open.
No. How old were you?
I was maybe like 3 or 4.
Oh my God, those poor neighbours coming.
I know. So like the patio was like covered in their blood, and I am obviously rushed to hospital. My uncle runs away.
No, what?
He's the dentist uncle.
Oh, dentist uncle is
Wow.
classic.
Yeah, my dentist
he's
uncle.
like, blood is fine.
Exactly. Yeah, he's like, but he has like a history of like noping out whenever kind of whenever anything is going like mildly
He's
wrong.
like, I'm good, I'm
It's like,
out.
no,
I'm
no,
not
no.
losing my license
I am
for this.
Out of here. Yeah, I mean, just
Wait, did you crack your skull? Did you have to have stitches?
Yeah. I think I had like big stitches all along the top.
Baby, how have I never heard about this?
Oh, I know, repressed memories. Yeah, this is like a therapy
We're really
session.
learning a lot today.
I'm sorry. Anytime Ewan talks about him as a little baby, I get really emotional. Can you tell her the story of when the teacher reprimanded you when you were a tiny little baby?
I love a chat, Charlie.
I've heard.
I mean, we all love a chat.
I've
You guys must love a chat too. You have a podcast. But I didn't realise when I was going to primary school that that was like against the rules.
Yeah.
Like I was frequently a wanderer offer. Like in a supermarket, my mum would lose me,
Yeah.
and she'd like find me 7 aisles over, like having a conversation with 2 old ladies.
Yes, of course, obviously.
And I was just like, I was built for the chat, love a chat.
Yeah.
Need to be yapping, need to be gabbing. And then when I started school, this was just like not the done thing, apparently. But like no one explains that to you, because it's like you're meeting 35 new people and you're in a room with them, and then you're sat next to someone.
Yeah, and it's like, obviously I'm speed dating.
Yeah, exactly. Come on.
Let's get to know each other.
I've got my little card. I'm filling it. I don't know how to write, but I'm making some pretty good like signs and symbols. So I get sat next to this girl called Sarah Butler. Now, I don't have much in common with Sarah Butler. We're not in touch these days.
But we're going to find some common ground.
Exactly.
Sarah Butler, if you're listening.
Hey. I get sat next to Sarah Butler and we start yapping away. And I say we. I think I was doing a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to the yapping. And
you're like, go on, Sarah, you're giving me nothing.
No, come on, I'm asking a lot of questions here. And the teacher's like, Ewan McAdam, you need to stop doing that right now. And I was like, okay, I guess this wasn't the appropriate time for chat. So after lunch, I'm fueled up on food, ready to chat again. Start going.
Love this place.
At this point, I am then immediately moved to next to another person. And so it's like, okay, well, you've not solved the problem. If anything, you've just given me a more interesting conversation. So the cycle begins again. The next day, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, let's get fired into this chat.
Every day, new person, new vibes.
Day 3, moved again.
Haven't got a lot of time to get to the details.
Exactly. If anything, I need to press harder, faster. So
just as it's getting good, he gets moved again.
So at this point, the teacher is so fed up with me. Day 3 of school ever.
No.
And I am then told to get my chair and bring it up to the teacher's desk. And I'm like, oh my god, promotion. And at that point, she's like, okay, this will stop him talking. But no, if anything, this is my prime real estate of conversation. This is an old lady. And I have a lot in common with old ladies. So, I mean, yeah, the yapping begins, and at that point, I was then removed from the classroom. But yeah, it's. I just wanted to chat.
That sucks. And only one thing you learn in primary school is a useful skill, and it is that.
Yeah, exactly.
Having a chat.
Having a competent chat. Not getting stuck in a bog. Having a chat.
Was there a moment where you were going to school but not wiping your ass yet?
I don't recall.
But
I think not, actually. I think apparently they are, like, children are being potty trained later than they were when we were younger.
Really?
People are less good at potty training now than they were.
Interesting.
What is driving that?
I guess everyone's
Diaper
just looking
sales.
at their phones or something instead of
big diaper, all in the pocket of the big diaper.
I do remember one girl in my class peeing herself. Like sitting in her chair and peeing herself. Maybe we were like 6 or something. I don't remember feeling judgmental about it. I do remember being like, couldn't
Happens
be
to the
me,
best
but
of us.
I understand.
It's a reputation that is difficult to lose.
Yeah.
Like, when was the last time that you remember peeing yourselves? Like, as a child, we've all done it as an adult, but come on.
I only remember... No, I did pee. I peed in the middle of the night. Well, I want to say in middle school. It was sobering.
No!
It was sobering. I was like, I thought these days were behind me.
Wow, that is hard. I do remember once pooping onto a nappy, and I must have literally been like under 2 years old because I was like standing on the back seat of the car chair and I didn't touch the ceiling. Going over a bridge on the way to my nana's house, and my mum being like, seriously, Charlotte? But not in the nappy, like the nappy was put down for me so I could like squat and poop. My mum being like, come on, we're nearly there.
So it was like less of a nappy, more of like just a target.
Yeah, just a receptacle for me to... When you gotta go, you gotta go.
You do, and when you're tiny little.
Yeah, literally, I must have been so small. Honestly, I can like feel
There's
the
nowhere to
space
store
between my
it.
head and the ceiling. I'm sure I was like under 2 years old.
That's also kind of dignified as well, you know? It's like the other day we were walking through Hyde Park and this like young gentleman, I'm gonna say under 2 years old, had a full potty situation set up.
It looked sick.
Yeah, he was he was taken slightly, I'm gonna say less than 5 meters away from the family barbecue that was taking place.
Wow.
Well, he had a full seat.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you got to practice. You can't just like...
exactly.
You can't be falling back on old habits.
They weren't behind a bush, they were near a bush.
Yeah.
But
All
my
right.
god, that little prince looked so dignified.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he was wearing sunglasses. It was cool. All right, back to your family.
Yes, okay.
So we know that you have a mom, a dad, and
I have a sister as well.
There we go.
Fill in the blank way of asking that. So you have a sister
Yes,
that we
I-
both know about.
Yes.
Do you have any siblings?
I have a little sister. She's called Ailey. She is 4.5 years younger than me. And
Good gap, I think.
yeah, I think it's a fun gap. It's a fun gap. I think I named Ailey because because of my tendency to chat. As a child, I was given some information and then not aware what information is supposed to be kept private and what information is not. And also then, like, I was not aware of the deliberation process of, like naming a child. Didn't realize it wasn't completely my decision.
Oh, you literally just picked a name?
Yeah, so I think, like, I was told that my mum was pregnant and that I was going to have a little sister. So that's like, oh wow, this is very exciting. And I think there was like, how do we get you on board with this? Yeah. And I was very much a fan of being an only child.
Yeah.
So I then I'm like informed, I'm gonna have a baby sister. I'm like, okay, well, how can we get you on board? Maybe we get you involved in the naming process. So like we're reading through baby name books.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's a good one. I'm forming little lists of my own. And I think it got like whittled down by my parents. Like they were like guardrailing me, trying to keep me vaguely in line. But I think we whittled it down to maybe 5 names that my mum liked. Yeah. I picked one at random off the list and started telling everybody that I was going to have a sister called Ailey. Okay. And
so
they
she
were
did
like,
kind of, she'd narrow. It wasn't like you picked just like a completely mad, insane
oh
thing
no
out of
no
the
no!
air.
I wasn't like I was like like imaginary friend pulling a name from nowhere. This is Gertrude. This is no. It was very very much guide railed. But
so cute.
Yeah, I just started telling everybody, that's Ailey in there.
But then that's a great way to get it.
Oh, exactly.
Otherwise, you could be really unsure, and you're like, why even wait? If it's like, well, this kid knows.
Yeah, I think if anything, if there was anything about me as a little boy, I was just very, very certain about everything. Yeah. Like I knew that what I knew was fact.
Yeah. Well, then I couldn't argue with you.
Exactly. And who would try to?
Does it mean something?
It means Helen in Gaelic.
Oh, that's nice. That's
yeah, I mean, Helen's a nice name. Yeah. But of all the Gaelic translations you could probably have in a name, kind of boring.
Yeah. Ailey, I think that's quite interesting.
It's a...
Why are you Ewan? Do you know?
I have no idea.
They were just like, what's number 1 on the Scottish name
list? I think so. I think we're around the time of train spotting Ewan McGregor pretty
Well, my sister's name is Yelena, and that's the Russian version of Helen.
Really?
So both of our sisters.
We both have little Helens.
Little Helens.
Hey.
There you go.
That's very sweet.
That is very, very sweet. Is Yelena popular?
Yeah, super, super popular. All of us, Olga and Yelena are very, very popular. And my brother's Robert, and that... No one's named that in Russia.
Yeah, that's wild.
They named him that because of the scientist who discovered tuberculosis. Oh. Which is...
I thought you were going to say Robert Oppenheimer there, and I was like...
Yeah. Big fans. No, Robert Koch discovered tuberculosis, which is, I think, such a random reason to name someone.
Well, but that's because the whole name was already...
His name is Robert Koch.
Yeah.
The scientist. Yeah.
Oh, what? Wow.
So they were like, let's just have that name wholesale.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Why not?
No, it's big boots to fill, because I think all the major diseases have been...
Yeah, but back in the day, it was easier to discover stuff.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it was so easy to discover stuff.
Do you know that my parents called me Ella when I was born?
Wait, what? How long were you Ella for?
A couple of weeks, and then my grandma, my dad's mum, said to my parents, I think my mum must have had really bad postpartum depression, because my grandma said, you can't call her that, she's going to get bullied, they're going to say Ella Umbrella. And that upset my mum so much that they changed my name.
Ella Umbrella was like, enough to break.
How can I let her live being Ella Umbrella?
Oh my god, that is a fragile state of being.
To be fair, you are not an Ella.
But I don't think I'm a Charlotte either.
Well, you're a Charlie. When did you decide to call yourself Charlie?
Maybe when I was like 11 or 12.
That's cool.
Because I like Charlie Chaplin.
Very cool.
Didn't know all the details, but I liked his work.
Did you have any childhood nicknames other than Charlie and Ella?
I'm in my family either Lottie or Flossie. I was like Flossie.
You're neither of those things.
Flossie? What?
Flossie.
How did that come about?
Don't know, but my mum still calls me Flossie
because it's just
Floss.
Charlotte, Lottie, Flossie.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
But I would never associate myself with that. But it is very. Now I say it out loud. That's familiar to me to say it because my mum does call me that a lot. Yeah. But I would never be like, and everyone should call me that.
Well, mine was Olga Bedpan, because it kind of rhymes. Le Log Garshok.
and I was Ewan pooing.
Yeah, pee and
So-
poo and Ewan.
Because and it rhymed, yeah, but definitely a lot of pooing.
Oh, these are cute. These are cute
Yeah.
nicknames.
I feel like we need to get into the extended cast of your family because
Okay.
there are some really fun characters around.
Yes.
I don't know how much you want to talk about this, and if you don't, you just say so and we'll cut it
Okay.
out. But women in your family have a tendency of going away.
Yeah, but not in like a creepy they disappeared.
like, oh my God, what?
They like of their own volition seem to run away a lot. Yeah, I guess if you haven't like left the town of Glasgow your entire life, you must be like absolutely itching
Yeah.
to leave. Like absolutely itching. Everybody that around is your cousin. Everybody around knows who you are. You gotta get out. So my gran was the first one to do it when she was like, I guess like
This is your mom's mom.
my mum's mum.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was like 20 years old, and she was just, I think she just started dating my grandpa, and then was just like so fed up with her mum and like the life around her, and she just like peaced out, just like straight up left. No one knew where the fuck she went. What? I think the only person.
Gone girl him. Gone girl him. Always keep him on your toes.
Yeah.
Start dating him, disappear. Keep him guessing.
I was like, where the fuck is Kathy gone? And it's like one of those ones where I think my grandpa must have known where she was, because I know that he had the ability to send her letters, but I don't think my grandpa told like her parents or anything. I think she was like, I'm leaving, I'm peacing out. Let's keep this on the DL. So it still is kind of a mystery. So my gran's dead now, and it's kind of a mystery about what she got up to in those like 18 months that she left. But one thing that we do know for sure is that she went to America for the entirety of the time.
Yeah.
She worked up and down the east coast of America, spent a lot of time in Rhode Island and New England, where she has which we're able to piece together because in her house, we had these incredible pictures hanging up, like little line drawings, like beautiful like old Victorian style line drawings. We're like, they are so beautiful. But we never knew the provenance of them. We never knew where they got them. My dad and sister about 5 years ago were in an art gallery in Rhode Island, and see this exact style of drawing.
What?
And it was like, yeah, it was like a famous illustrator from Rhode Island that she'd managed to pick up these paintings, like originals.
That's crazy.
And we just got them in the hallway. Which is
There's no like letters remaining.
I think there are letters remaining. I know my Auntie Jenny has them. I know like.
Is this the 70s?
Christ, no. This is early 60s.
Early 60s. Okay.
Early 60s.
Very cool. All right.
So yeah, I don't think there's any. I think there are letters. I haven't read them, but like, I know that there are like love letters, essentially not from my gran, but from my grandpa begging her to come home. Being like, please come home.
And then was she replying or not?
I don't think she was replying. I think she was just like having a little float about.
Can you imagine you start dating someone, they're like, I'm leaving and I won't tell you where I'm going and I might not come back. What a simp.
It's
simp behavior.
Incredible.
Simp
but he just
behavior.
left the Isle of Skye, so he had to have something to hang on to. So my grand's like traveling across the East Coast. She's like collecting art apparently. Then she finds herself nannying for the Tupperware family in Florida for a couple of years, where she meets a dentist. And I think I might be wrong here, that she was embroiled in a romance with the dentist in Florida. I know this because not because of any of the letters, but because apparently it was frequently brought up to my mum every time she was misbehaving. She was like, I could be with a dentist in Florida right now.
Yeah.
I'll have to be here. I could be with a dentist in Florida right now.
Dentist in Florida.
Yeah.
Nannying for the Tupperware family.
Yeah.
Man,
But then you don't know why she came back.
that's
We do
like
know why she
Sylvia
came back,
Plath shit.
Because my grandpa literally was like, if you come back, I will marry you. And then she was like, I think like there was almost like an engagement to the dentist.
Yeah.
And my grandpa like...
She was playing them off of each other.
I genuinely think she was. And like he was like, well, if you come back, I'll marry you. She comes back, they get married, babies immediately.
So what you're saying is they didn't even like properly date before this, and he just obsessed over her while she was away, and then she came back. You know what? She skipped the dating phase. She's like, I'll get back.
New
when
Bumble, you know what I mean? Let's do it. It's just called like absent. It's like you click on who you like, they
Yeah.
go away, you message them
Yeah.
30 times over the period of 2 years, and at the end you're like, you want in or not?
Yeah, if you miss them, you have to marry them.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
we hook them up to like a heartbeat monitor.
Come on.
Yeah.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
There we go.
And so does abstinence. This episode is sponsored by not having sex.
Wow, I love it. Okay, so your mum's disappearance.
So my mum's disappearance was slightly less dramatic.
Okay.
I
I
think
could be with a dentist right now.
She was like, I gotta go to Florida and find a dentist.
yeah, she
what I've heard.
she did not
Promised
go
land.
as far. She did not go as far by any means. She was just like, I think one day, end of the summer holidays, at the end or the start of the summer holidays, she'd just finished high school. She was like in the house, had a huge argument with my gran, the one who ran away. I was like, fuck this, I'm getting out of here. You're not going to see me again. Big bold statement. So she goes to the job centre and is like, give me any work. I'll take any work as long as I get to leave Glasgow. Give me any work. So she takes a job on the Isle of Mull as a...
It's not going very far, is it?
Not very far. It's 90 miles away. But it is she got a job as a chambermaid at the Western Isles Hotel, which was the hotel that my grandparents on my dad's side were running at the time.
Cute.
So my dad at the time was working in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And then she was one of the chambermaids. So that's where they ended up falling in love.
A romance that truly could have happened any time over the last 400 years. It's giving Downton. It's giving Bridgerton.
Yeah, the old chambermaid and cook.
The chambermaid and cook.
And they just met each other there and they liked each other.
Yeah, I think they just met each other there. I know that on like that it was like a long-standing crush on my dad's side, and then a very. I think what I've learned about my family is it's all very forceful and withholding women.
It explains a lot, doesn't it? Love you, baby.
Love you too. Yeah, there's a lot of the Scottish matriarch figure seems to loom large in my life, and it's like, I mean, it's super depressing when the matriarch is the kingpin in a Scottish family, and it's just alcoholism.
Yeah. It's like, well, everyone else is really out for the count.
It's like, I guess we've got to take care of
We got
things.
this strong woman who's simply drinking less.
Yes, just a little less.
Not sober, simply drinking less. I love a ball buster. I love a ball buster. We
Yeah.
love a ball buster.
If
We're
you-
a couple ball busters, I'd say.
Maybe. You definitely are. I think I was, and now I've reined it in.
You can be a ball buster and phone it in.
I'll phone in a bull busting. I'll do a bull busting. I want to do it one day a week. You know what I mean? I don't want to do it every day. So your mum and dad met on Mull.
My mum and dad met on
And your
Mull.
dad now lives on Mull, but you did not grow up on Mull.
No, so when my mum and dad got together, they then moved back to Glasgow.
Big city.
Big city.
Can we hear a little bit more about them falling in love? Do you know any sort of anecdotes or give us any
my
texture
God.
on that?
Christ.
First kiss, first date.
I know the first date. I know the first date.
Can we hear about the first date?
Yeah. So for the first date, I think there was like a long-standing. He fancied her. She was like.
Yeah.
And then I believe on I think maybe one of her final weeks on Mull, they were like, okay, let's go for a drink in the pub. He manages to convince her to go down to the Arms for a couple of pints, and then he immediately chokes on his drink and throws up on her.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
What?
He like chokes on his drink and like starts coughing.
Oh
and,
my
like,
God, no. Have you ever seen your dad do this again?
I've seen my dad throw up, but I've never
Okay.
never seen him
Not
You've
on
throw
seen
up.
him
on
throw
my
up?
mum.
Oh, you have seen him throw
Oh,
up.
it was just like so overwhelming for him to
Yeah,
be in her presence.
Yeah, I think.
I don't think anyone's ever loved me.
to lose control of a bodily function.
Yeah, I've never
And she
made anyone.
presumably was nice
throw up.
about it.
Yeah, I think my mum was exceptionally good at holding a grudge. Like so talented. It was one of the things that she did best. She was like exceptionally good at like novel ways of holding a grudge.
Great.
And like really twisting a knife in quite a loving but difficult way. So I imagine she never forgave him for it, but loved him despite it.
Oh, and is that
Yeah.
not all we can ask?
But also, if you start that low, the only way is up.
Exactly.
Like, for the rest of the night, as long as you're keeping the drink down, you're already winning.
Like, if either of you were on a first date and you were thrown up on, what is that game over for you?
No, not at all.
Well, maybe now.
I don't think so.
In my early 20s, absolutely not. Probably more on, if anything.
Now he feels bad.
I'm like,
Let's get
the
another round.
tables have turned. So you grew up in Glasgow.
Yes. I did.
You were a chatty little child, but then what were you like when you were a teenager?
Oh, I think I was quite bratty.
Do you want to know? Okay, so Ewan has quite a distinct voice. Would you agree?
Yes.
Yes.
A beautiful voice. When my dad first met him, he said, and I'm so sorry that I keep telling
it's
people
fantastic.
this, you have the voice of a much taller man. Which I think
Yeah,
is
the best.
the burn of the century. The burn of the century.
It's so wild, though. You are taller than her dad, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was just being a dick.
He just needed something. He needed a dig.
So one of my first questions to Ewan was, when did the voice
happen?
Yeah,
and it's an incredible story.
So I was a little musical theatre dweeb.
Yes.
I think I had very strong opinions.
Yeah.
I was quite flowy. I've been doing musical theatre for a long time.
I love my gay boyfriend.
Yeah. And you sing in them little boys' parts. You're like, you're the Dodger, and
I'm
you're
an
the
Artful Dodger. Yeah.
Who's the Les Mis one?
I was Thénardier, exactly. Though that was
Little people. What's that from? Come on, guys. Little people do, 'cause little people do.
Oh,
You've got a bigger history of musical theatre than I do.
this definitely is.
Anyway, that's a little boy part.
Is that Gavroche?
Maybe it is. It's from Les Mis,
That's
isn't
Gavroche. I was unfortunately past my prime.
Oh, you were already one.
Singing-wise
Okay,
when
fine.
when I was doing Les Mis. I was a 16-year-old and I had this voice.
No. Okay. How did it happen? Where did it appear?
So I mean, like I love my musical theatre. I was doing a lot of it. Famously, I was withheld from doing musical theatre in my first year of high school because they were doing Andrew Lloyd Webber's Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat, and I dubbed it a subpar musical.
I completely agree with you. Why even fucking bother?
Yeah, no, Age 11 is such a strong opinion to have.
No, I'm with
glad
you. I would have
stuck
felt the
with
same.
it. But I was doing a show age 13. It was a jukebox musical called Back to the 80s.
Okay, fine.
And it was like a high school...
Sounds cheap.
Oh, it was so cheap. It was like a high school kind of Ferris Bueller, like 1980s kind of... all the tropes are being played into, and you're getting... so I was playing a nerd. I was playing the classic
No
nerd.
character names.
No, the nerd was called Fergal Bobby McFerrin III.
Had a teacher of yours written this?
No. It's like an actual one you can go out and buy.
Fergal.
Yeah. But then Bobby McFerrin just thrown in there.
The singer.
Yeah.
The Beyond the Sea guy.
The Beyond the Sea guy. Yeah, Fergal.
That's
Bobby.
not even an 80s song.
No.
What?
Fergal Bobby McFerrin III. I loved it. So I was like the nerd. I was like the tech dweeb. I played a lot of dweebs. I was a very talented character actor.
Yep.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
And
the strongest actors sometimes get the smallest but most interesting parts.
Yeah, I think Brad Pitt said it best when he said, I'm a character actor in a leading man's body." So
you do say that about yourself.
It's an affliction. But my big solo as this part was I had to sing "Video Killed the Radio Star."
Wow.
And the
wild choice for a Scottish high school.
Absolutely insane.
But quite a high-pitched song.
I mean, it's very high-pitched, and that worked because I had a little soprano voice.
Yeah.
I had a little soprano voice, and I mean, it's the main reason I was cast in that part.
God.
I had a squeaky little soprano voice.
No, it's going. I feel it in my soul.
We start show week, and I am like the final section of this rendition of "Video Killed the Radio Star." It like cuts out, goes a cappella. And I have to hit. I think it was above a high C.
Stop it!
It was above a high C, and I had no problems with that. I had a very squeaky, perfect little soprano voice. I was very talented. And then
you were like, "I'm going to once in Royal David City. This, no problem."
Exactly. And at the start of the week, I had control. The belt was thriving up top, and by the end of
Radio Star.
So like show runs on a Wednesday. The Wednesday's fine. The Thursday's even better. I'm in the swing of it. The Friday I wake up and something has changed.
No.
Like it's like I wake up and like I answer the phone and and it's my auntie, my Aunt Jenny, and she's like, "Paul?" Which is my dad's name.
Did you feel it? Did you feel it in your mouth and in your throat?
Oh my god, it's like you've done a body swap comedy, but it's
like,
you with an adult man's voice.
And it's like I was a scrawny little kid as well. So it's like, and I was like, "No, it's Ewan." And she's like, "Oh my god, what has happened to you?" She's like, "Are you ill?" And I'm like, "No." Am I ill? I go through and talk to my mum. My mum's like pissing herself laughing because like this, like one thing One thing about my voice, I might be tall enough for it, but I certainly facially don't match it. It's like I think when you see my face, normally you're not expecting this.
It's hard to know that because I only know your voice and your face at the same time. But
yeah, I think
having seen you interact with vendors and suppliers in our mutual line of work, the sound of women giggling on the phone. Not that they wouldn't giggle at your face, but they certainly giggling at your voice.
Oh my god! I mean, it's like you can sense it when I'm on the phone with a woman who's over 50.
Yeah.
That little thing that when I was a little boy kicks in.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm just gonna chat.
Yeah, and they're like, this is a 50-year-old man.
But also imagine, as his mom, your tiny little scrawny little kid walks in with that voice. You would laugh.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
how
you'd
did you
scream.
How did you do your show? What did you do?
I go in. I think I had to like.
Your drama teacher must have had an aneurysm.
Yeah, I think I had to like fully call.
Can you imagine?
I think we had to like fully call the teacher, director, whatever it was, and
God.
be like, "So there's been an incident." The incident was puberty. And it's like,
She's like, please, can I speak to you and direct?
yeah, this is good.
Is castration an option?
We're too late. We're too late. So yeah, I'm like wandering in. People at school are like fully like not sure how to react to this situation because like everything has changed in less than 8 hours.
No.
And yeah, it's like they fully had to transpose this song. So it like goes a cappella, and then I'm like, video killed the reed. It's like suddenly like a Stevie Wonder song.
Yes.
Yeah, and ever since then, I don't think I've ever recovered. I don't think my voice ever settled from that. I just can't sing the same way I used to.
Are you kidding me? You just came and sang on our thing. Ewan just came on, was like in a fully professional 4-piece singing quartet and did a great job.
What was this?
This was for a piece we had to like arrange a choir to be like screaming passengers on a plane.
Yeah, and a composer wrote a song and Ewan just sang the bass and did a great job.
You've got a gorgeous voice.
He's got a great voice.
Sounds like velvet.
If there's any voice agents listening,
Yeah. We'll cut this up. We'll cut out all the clips of you and string them together to make you say something obscene.
I'm not the only person in my family that has had like an overnight switch in terms of like their voice or. So, as I said, my grandpa was raised on the Isle of Skye by a school teacher after his parents died. And that was his, like, my Auntie Harriet, my great Aunt Harriet, she was an absolutely terrifying woman, school teacher, stern Scottish matriarch, like, you know how, like, the picture of Scottish Protestantism, where it's like, everybody is so dour, sour-faced, just grim and grumpy.
Joy is
and
bad.
Sad. Yeah, joy is a bad thing. Pleasure.
Yeah.
Oh my god, there's no bigger sin than enjoying yourself. So like she was like the archetype of that. From what I gather, a very, very lovely woman, full of love, but like not outwardly.
And also they do them dirty on the like photos you see, you know what I mean? Because everyone had one photo and they were told not to smile and it's like, wow, you look really grim. Exactly.
But I think she did have like quite a mean streak. Head teacher of a school.
Sadistic.
Yeah.
Certainly.
And like later in life, she loved to take that mean streak out on my gran. So my grandpa's wife, she absolutely loved to like sadistically torture my gran. But like in like fun, playful ways, I guess. Fun, playful. It's all fun. It's all playful. One of the big ones was later in her life, she came and lived with my gran and grandpa. Like almost like they were looking after her, some of the last remaining family. So like, yeah, obviously family looks after family. She came down to Glasgow, just stayed with them until she died. Now, towards the end of her life, Harriet was having a lot of strokes. Like my gran was working a lot less than my grandpa, so she would be the primary person looking after her. So for all intents and purposes, my gran was Harriet's nurse, but Harriet insisted on calling her matron. Wouldn't address her by name, and then like after matron, so it was always very.
That's
dismissive.
very like Handmaid's Tale, right?
Matron, I'm feeling very ill. You're going to have to fetch me a soup. Which I think is like it's gentle, but it really riled my gran up. And my gran was like outwardly furious about it the moment she left Harriet's sight. But the big switch came, and this really broke my gran in terms of anger. When Harriet had her final stroke, she switched to just speaking Gaelic. It was her original language. and she insisted on only speaking Gaelic. Now, the only person in that household that knew Gaelic was my grandpa.
Fine.
And it was often suggested that when speaking to, she would switch into speaking to Gaelic to everybody else.
Yeah.
To get my grandpa around, and then would immediately switch to speaking English.
Wow.
But the stroke induced a Gaelic kind of fugue state. And I love that.
It's petty.
It's very petty.
Or
really
it's a genuine
like
health
that.
issue.
Oh, extremely genuine health issues. She did have a lot of strokes.
I like it. I like it a lot.
And that was one of the many family members that died in the house that I grew up in.
Oh no.
Oh no, it's fine.
No,
Do you
I
ever see
like that.
ghosts?
We had a ghost in our house, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But it was very gentle. You could always smell toast at 2 a.m.
Hungry ghost.
in the kitchen.
Just a toast ghost.
I don't know if this is going to be funny or interesting, but yesterday Ewan and I partook in some gummies, and I had this like very short but very dramatic realization.
Yes, I mean, would you like to?
So basically, I just burst into tears, obviously.
We're watching Get Shorty at this point.
So I had this like horrible realization that my grandmother, as you know, was a very, very accomplished woman. May she rest in peace.
Yeah.
And then how everybody like treated her as a baby in old age. But that's we always treat old people as children in old age, right? And she was so switched on until like the last day. She watched the news every single day. But then everybody was always like, "Oh, kooky grandma, always watching the news." And it's like, no, this was a completely switched on woman. Sure. And like, it must have been absolutely maddening to be treated as a child when like all you did was like, your entire life, all you did was work really, really hard. All these people you watched grow up, you raised, are now treating you like a child. And like, children don't know they're being condescended to, but old people do.
100%.
And that I realize I'm 31 years old, but this was
Get Shorty trick.
But this is the first time in my life where it clicked, where I was like, it's going to be agony when you first recognize someone condescending to you and treating you like an old person. Like, you're like, oh no, because the first time someone's.
I remember my grandma sometimes being like we would like go to a restaurant and then she would be like, why are they like speaking like that to me? Because I guess people were like speaking over her and like pulling out a chair for her and things. And I remember watching it and then being like, what? Just let him. Just let him.
But you do have to just, and then I think at some point you get so annoyed and frustrated that people are treating you this. Yeah, and you're like, oh, you're going to treat me like a baby? Well, I am baby.
Yeah.
Matron, get me some frickin' tea.
Yeah. Yes, matron. You can't understand what I'm saying. And that's a you problem.
Because I'm baby.
Yeah. So wild to just be like making your daughter-in-law your little servant, though.
Yeah, I guess.
Substitute sorts of daughter-in-law, but it's sort of daughter-in-law.
Definitely. At that
well,
point.
in a way that's like, once you are locked into people treating you this way, there are very tiny moments of resistance that you can present.
Yeah.
Like when Britney Spears was in her conservatorship, right?
Yeah.
Or however you call it, say that word.
Yeah.
Her only mini acts of a rebellion were to do naked videos on Instagram.
It's true.
And speaking Gaelic were her.
That was the new video.
Was her naked videos. Tiny acts of rebellion.
Yeah, Harriet going mentally to South Uist is similar to Britney Spears visiting French Polynesia
and getting banned for being naked on the beach. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Britney Spears is banned from French Polynesia.
Both islands, both strong women.
Well, thank you so much for joining us here.
Oh, what a treat.
Oh, it's been a pleasure to be on. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for coming on. Do you have anything to plug?
I'd like to plug the good work that you guys do.
Oh, thank you. Oh my God, first guys to plug us.
Lifting up women.
Yes.
Go see All the Call Comes from Money at Fringe.
Yeah.
And then also watch,
whatever I'm doing.
What's the show called?
I don't know yet. We haven't decided.
No. What's the animated show that you're doing?
Oh, Bad Jelly. Oh, it's so far away, but thank you.
Watch Bad Jelly when it comes out. It's going to be incredible.
Next year we'll replay this clip.
Very, very.
Oh my God, Ewan. This is produced by us at the moment, and so it looks and sounds janky as hell. Maybe we'll remedy that at some point.
And the theme tune was written by Ronan Shields. Thank you so much.
Bye.